Thank you very much, Kyle, and of course, the desk for their stellar work. We're going to be jumping straight into our second map of our third best of three, and there's nothing slow about this. Moscow 5 straight through onto ramp, taking all of the aggression, all of the peaks across from Problem, who's going to have a really hard job of really doing anything, and he's got a 1 kill, which honestly is more than I was anticipating. Now the plant's going to be coming through straight away to the hands of Deadrock. As Scrappy engaged down on the control room staircase, we'll see Dursky coming out on top. Post plant is looking good for Moscow 5, hot off the back of losing the first map after a vast lead, but JR and Kalinka start to pile up the bodies, pile up the headshots, and Raider hiding behind the door is going to be able to survive a little bit longer. He's doing a good job of stalling this one away, now shows his hand. There is a smoke in the hands of Flaric, there is a defuse kit, and now it's looking like the chances for Raider have pretty much been suppressed, pretty much been silenced. As he runs through, he's looking to try and knife JR. What the hell just happened? It was bayonets at dawn, and it nearly went the way of Moscow 5 after all.
Spawns right past the guy with the sniper. He almost pulled it off. That's unbelievable, man. That round was just like today in a nutshell. That was wild. Imagine being the guy diffusing in the smoke thinking, oh, my teammate's got my back, surely. And then all of a sudden you're just getting stabbed in the back like a million times. Almost lose.
Crazy, isn't it?
That is so wild, man.
I think he just ran out of ammunition in his magazine and he was like, screw it, let's go. And HellRaisers actually get an early AWP. Dude, second round.
I love it, dude. I love doing that. I love getting second round ops whenever I play pubs. It's just, it feels so good to just op someone round 2. Because you just know they're tilted.
With the benefits maybe of getting that knife kill, Jelaine, though. Easy pickings as both Deadrock and Dursky fly from the sky. And they have had their wings clipped. Laval, 1v5. Has the Deagle. That's about all. Bit of Kevlar behind it. Was a force buy from Moscow 5, and it's just not working.
Nah, they were trying to build something off of that bomb plan, and unfortunately for them, they met an op way earlier than they expected, for one, and then for two, the mini garage was well handled. Triple kill there for JM. So it is going to be 2-0 in favor of the HellRaisers, and now the money is going to be low again for M5 Academy, so you'd expect to see a save coming out, I would imagine.
Would certainly make sense. The risk versus reward's not worth it. Barely scratched or put a dent in their economy, just the 1 kill in the previous round. So it's going to be Deagle. Almost bonus starting to accrue. If they can get a bomb plant, really, that is the icing on top. Nade damage isn't as severe as I was anticipating, but the MP9 damage may very well be. Dursky counteracts with a P250 headshot, and there's Deadrock with the Deagle. A fast wrap, though, from Problem. Will be picking off Deadrock from below, and our Problem continues to drive forward, running out of ammunition, running out of health. And I've got to say that whatever happens from here, Moscow 5 have already done a really good job in this round.
Yeah, it's been so chaotic, really just kind of has the series has been and how the day has been. Again, it's just kind of all clumped together, and Dursky trying to get back around here. He's got his teammate Luke still up as well with the bomb. They're trying to kind of join up together, but JR with the AWP through ramp is going to cut them off from each other. Luke will still get the plant in the upper bomb side, so there's a economic victory of sorts, but trying the 1v2 with just the Glock does seem like a far cry from being possible. So you can imagine this should still go HellRaiser's way, but like you said, it was already pretty much a victory for M5 Academy. But Luke picked up a FAMAS, so now I'm curious.
Has been put down with authority from Kalinka, but 3 kills, bomb plant with Deagles, that is definitely a W. That's definitely victory, and you can see their economy now is in good shape, but they've got to start putting this to use. It's all well and good getting the money built up. What do you do with it? That's what truly counts.
No, you're absolutely right about that, and they will be able to go ahead and get the AKs out and play. Op is going to be out as well for Luke, so they'll have everything at their disposal that they could want. Whether they want to go for the outside smoke wall play, which is kind of the standard for this map, kind of the default way of approaching things, or do they want to go for something faster? Not really sure just yet.
Smoke just catching the Molotov in its last couple of seconds. Does extend the lockdown on Squeaky Door. Moscow 5 weren't really interested in pushing through there anyway. They have their eyes set to outside for the first time, and it won't be the last time. Hotly contested area of the map. Affords the T's a lot of maneuverability, the luxury of pushing down secret or wrapping behind heaven from below. And that's a free kill. JLM walking out into the open, opt down from Luke, and secret control now being established.
Yeah, it's great to have all this territory for M5 Academy, plus you have the man advantage. The bomb is still lagged back a bit, though. There's still some ways for HellRaisers to come back in, obviously, as we do see Laval finally collecting this bomb. Again, lots of options open to M5 Academy, but Kalinka decides to make a bit of a move here through Squeaky Door, finds the kill, and has an idea about Dirtsky up top here. Unfortunately, he can't line up the crosshair. Dursky will get that frag and get the man advantage right back for M5 Academy after it only being even for a short time, and could even find more. It all comes down to timing, and indeed he will find Flaret, so everything seemingly going M5 Academy's way at this point. Nothing going right for HellRaisers, except for that one-out shot from JR, but that's going to be only a very minor victory and ultimately doesn't have much impact, as M5 Academy will find their first round of the half.
Yeah, this is where those 3 kills in the previous round really do catch up with HellRaisers. They had 2 players on, actually 3 players on around $3,000. So yeah, they're going to be able to buy, but you're looking at 2 MP9s at Deagle, and as a result, not too many grenades, 1 kit, but they do have the up for JR, and that's the mainstay. That's the power play that they have there.
Yeah, it's going to be on that and maybe making some aggressive plays with the MP9s, or at least putting them in forward angles to try to make something of this. You can see Luke is fearful of that and is drawn back into T-spawn just to watch for the push. Definitely a smart idea considering the economic situation of HellRaisers. You have to kind of understand that there's plays like that out there and you don't want to get trapped. Doing a great job sitting back and just kind of anticipating the aggression.
That's a very surprising time push from Problem and Kalinka. It just felt very, very off-kilter, and they've been punished across the map. 3 separate aggressive plays, all destroyed.
Yeah, I just feel like they could have been timed together better. It could have maybe actually had a positive result, but as you said, it was a bit disjointed, and so it's just kind of easy pickings for M5 Academy. They were well prepared for a push like that, and they've found the result that they were looking for. Now it's just JR trying to save an AWP, basically, at this point. So any moment now, we should see M5 Academy looking to get this bomb planted and getting this round done with. Get a number 2 on the board, as indeed Deadrock will go for the safe plant. Again, JR wanting to have really nothing to do with the rest of this round other than trying to keep the AWP over.
Raider had the right idea by looking into CT spawn with regards to a save, but it's just in the wrong position. JR actually moving on top of the T side of the roof and looking to hide underneath the door. It's a cheeky angle to watch, and he should be able to hold on to his AWP, even though Raider is in hot pursuit. Now going to be checking the T spawn. So it looks like the Great Escape is going to be successful. Obviously, you have to look at the minimal victories because Moscow 5 in the rifle rounds have been successful, and JR blows up to the bomb. I thought he'd be safe there.
That is a real feels bad.
He just puts the shrug emoji in chat. That pretty much sums it up.
It really does. There really is no better way to put that.
I mean, more so than just the embarrassment, it's the fact that that's an AWP that's no longer on the table. So that could have maybe been a force buy behind it. Now, as it stands, they just have to tap out. Like, well, we don't really have anything. USPs it is.
So we like to call in the business a fat rip.
Looks like this round is going to be another one. Double trouble, full USP stack. I mean, M5, after losing the pistol, they lost the next round pretty convincingly. Started to fear maybe this was just going to slip away early on, but credit to them, they've dug in. They've really put up a real stop to HellRaisers CT.
Well, that was unexpected. JR actually gets a kill and a MAC-10. Still should have no business winning this round, obviously, but they did draw first blood, so at least a small bit of something kind of went their way in this round. So they will now try to swarm together and just feed Dursky the ace. Dursky is very thankful, I am sure.
Drastic spike in ADR, 180 ADR, of course, after you've got an ace such as that.
That is the freest of aces, Vince. Really doesn't get easier than that, unless they were all literally standing still. AFK and spawn.
Yeah, they all walked into the bottleneck of the L bend, and it's pretty smooth sailing. Now HellRaisers have a buy. It's going to be at the cost of an AWP, at the cost of a lot of utilities. They're going to have to make this work. The AUG picked up, but it's been absolutely perfectly placed. M5 run into the spray. They run into death. The bomb's down, and there's an AWP to boot. That's exactly what HellRaisers were hoping for.
That was pretty bad.
A questionable play.
Just everything about that was bad.
Except for Problem's aim. That was solid.
Yeah. I mean, again, it just comes down to a little bit of a lack of cohesion, spacing, timing, just like little things that need to be tweaked. Again, a little bit more utility added to that push, like a pop flash or something would have been very helpful. It just seems like they're lacking in a couple of key areas.
Big pick. Luke survives as well. A slither of health, 7 HP. The aggressive peak doesn't yield anything in return for HellRaisers. The only thing I could think of, Dust, is they assumed JR had enough money to afford an AWP, and they just wanted to try and overwhelm Ramp, knowing that with an AWP, you take the first shot, you can't really do much afterwards, but it's such a big risk to take. Like, I'm really trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but it just is a very poor decision.
Yep. They did get a pretty sick opening op pick in this round, I will say, though Luke has been traded back. Op will be now in the hands of Dursky, who is trying to just kind of slowly walk around outside. In fact, he thinks better of it and keeps the AK-47. There has been a push-up secret by Kalinka with the AUG. Not sure if it'll actually come into play, as it seems like most of M5 are kind of gathered up in the lobby for a potential upper push. In fact, one of them's already out the door and has been tagged in the leg there by JR, and that nade just misses where it needed to bounce to finish off the frag, but he'll do it with the op anyway.
Kalinka now using the AUG up against Moscow 5. We're looking to push out. Deadrock is trying to bait some more ammunition out of Kalinka. Tries to run back in again and just gets sprayed. HellRaisers clobbering through M5 after conceding the first kill. That was very much a one-sided round, which definitely didn't seem like it would be the case when Luke got the opening pick through Squeaky with his AWP.
Yeah, that was kind of a tough one there, and now it only gets tougher as the economy is getting low. They still can full buy AKs, but it's not going to have the op in play for Luke, and if they lose this, they would be saving. That's where HellRaisers could really start to build a big lead here on the CT side. So we'll see what this M5 Academy have in stores. They do boost up one player, the rest just kind of sitting back, so maybe the outside smoke wall going to be in play.
Slight gap in the smoke. Molotov been put down instead, just to ensure that the entirety of Garage is dealt with. They can now push forward towards... And that's a cheeky, audacious peek. Jalame's only going to get the one, though. It may not be a worthwhile trade for HellRaisers. It now spreads them a little bit thinly outside. They do have Problem, who's moving into the Hell position from the locker room. Carrying across. The flashbang is good, but so is Kalinka's aim with the AUG. He does... managed to put up enough of a fight to deal with Dursky.
Big kills there for sure. Upper is being well managed right now by HellRaisers. M5 Academy electing for that deeper smoke wall because they actually wanted to control Big Garage and Mini rather than try to slip in the secret and try to maybe split Upper through Heaven or something like that. But they've already had one player caught at main, and now they're kind of rerouting. Luke does get ramp control, so that still does give them access to Hell, but also gives them a chance to go lower. So they have several different options in this mid-round 3 versus 3, but not a lot of time to make a decision, Vince. They need to make one now.
Yeah, and they are actually very slow to come to a conclusion. That kill, though, is going to definitely put a cat amongst the pigeons, and they'll have enough time to traipse onto the A side, get the bomb planted. Kalinka is low. I do wonder if that is going to finalize this round. It suggests that HellRaisers will save, and indeed they do. So this time, JL is going to make sure he doesn't position himself in a spot to get blown up from the bomb.
That would be a good idea.
Yep. Especially as they can get a buy if they can save these two weapons.
Absolutely. But basically have a full buy next round if they can. Big round for M5 Academy. Before letting this kind of spiral out of control, they find another round on the board.
Man, it was all about that pick towards the end onto the A site. If that goes against M5 Academy, you're looking at the very real possibility of a 6-3. But as it stands, M5 draw it back to the one-round deficit. Put the pressure back on HellRaisers again. They can drop from JR and Kalinka. They can get a buy, as Dust highlighted, so it's not the end of the world.
A pretty big round here as both economies are pretty vulnerable, so this could be a bit of a swing round, especially with the game already being so close. As again, the smokes are being set up outside. Some spam going through the hut. Damage going both ways in that exchange. Nothing too critical, though. Same smoke wall being set up outside as in the previous round.
HellRaisers now need to repel the push outside again. It has been a reoccurring theme. I do wonder at what point the CTs try and take some outside control. They did it when they're in kind of a force buy with SMGs. Do they have that same level of aggression elsewhere? A site being taken, but they don't check up on the catwalk. And Flarik's going to get the one. There's a second player in A main, which is now showing his hand. That's Jalame. Dursky will suppress Kalinka. Does open up some business outside. Jalame's still alive, and now his teammates helped him out. He's going to change his angle. Headshot angle on point. Kill on point, and HellRaisers 6-4 lead.
Yeah, there were some chances there for M5 Academy, but I feel like what the constant has been for HellRaisers on this defense and what's allowed them to be so successful is really just been the fact that they have always been able to manage main or mini, whatever you'd like to call it. Usually you're kind of regional on how that's called, but it's been Jalame. Like, he's just been constantly a problem in that area. It's always really been well defended, and it's really cut off another route to the upper bomb site from M5 Academy.
No surprise where Moscow 5 are looking to aggress. Didn't work for them last round. Has started well this time, though. Luke, not for the first time getting the opening pick. They wanted to flash Jalame out, but Kalinka whiffs his flashback. It needed to be a little bit lower. It would have gone outside, and then you would have had a peek from Jalame. But as it stands, that aggression not going to be forthcoming. So now they need to rest on Problem to dig them out of this ditch, and he'll do just that. Gets out the shovel, gets out the spade. And HellRaisers looking to try and pick up a 7th round. Jalame, slight gap in the smoke, peering into secret, but no one's home. They're actually going outside instead towards Heaven. They're going to try and wrap into an A hit again. And Kalinka is more than good enough to deal with the oncoming threat. Finally gets put down as a scourge of terrorists push towards him. They're looking to annul this partnership on the side. Deadrock has enough time to pull out his AK, but Problem has enough time to flank. And HellRaisers will indeed get their 7th. It's at great cost, though, to 4 players.
just really smart play from HellRaisers and just good teamwork. Again, Jalame being a problem for them time and time again. Like, while he peeked out dangerously where his back is exposed, he knew that the guy was committed to the plant, so he could take the 1v1 in main. He knew that his teammate would have the trade from Hut. So that's just showing how they have a bit more cohesion than their opponent. You know, that even though they've been together also a short amount of time, maybe they just have things worked out a little bit better on their communication and how they want to work out retakes. And certainly another successful one there from them. M5 Academy out of money, so now it'll just be upgraded pistols. So HellRaisers are really building up a nice lead now on their CT side. It's starting to get to a good point. Their economy is still very low, but luckily they have an opportunity this round to hopefully win clean and start building up some bank for the rest of the half. That would be the goal, I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's always the goal in Counter-Strike, is to win and do so with little trouble.
Perfectly baited into a false sense of security there was Luke.
Yep.
Took some pot shots at JR. Problem had his back covered with the AUG. Interestingly, they have gone for double AUGs a couple of times on the ramp side in particular. Makes sense. It's a longer range incursion with the assault rifles. Dursky with a P250 narrowly off, and his teammate has now been fragged, leaving him the lone survivor, the last man standing. Not for too much longer. 8-4 lead.
Yeah, not a whole lot you could expect in a round like that when M5 Academy had little to work with. There was an opportunity there for a brief moment where they might have been able to get a couple of kills towards ramp and make it expensive for HellRaisers, but good utility usage and crossfire positioning handled it just fine, and so they do get a little bit of reserve cash put into their accounts. And M5 Academy running out of time on this T side to get much out of advance. I feel like they need to get at least 1 or 2 more rounds.
Yeah, it feels like the predictability is now coming in, that HellRaisers have seen the same strat of outside control being established, and they're dealing very well with it. They're taking main control. They're forcing players down into vents. You've seen this time JR's watching Secret with the AWP, takes a kill, falls back. Kalinka is watching the cross. It's another 1-for-1 trade, though, so B-side should be by and large open, barring a ramp rotation.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit different from M5 Academy. They've committed to Secret a lot faster. Usually they were using their outside smoke wall to actually attack outside. Now they've actually used it to go lower, and they've also been pretty efficient in their trading. They've got it into a 3 versus 3. They have yet to be able to actually really get into the site and take a plant in. Fleric, in the meantime, is actually still preoccupied with Raider over towards outside, so that's kind of keeping him out the equation. They actually do shift it to an upper bomb plant, so they've really made a good maneuver here. This is really going to flip the script. They're still so worried about Raider outside, Vince. He's done such a good job.
He has really done a phenomenal job for M5, keeping multiple CTs interested. They're lining up the flash into the peak. Dursky is not going to be deterred or affected by that flashbang. So the first kill carved out, and it's going to be more frags to follow up. They know that Dursky was last spotted behind these boxes, so a 2v1, going to be spinning in for the first kill, and there's the frag through the wall, through the boxes. It's going to be very close, but JR may very well have this, and indeed he does. HellRaisers' successful retake, and once Dursky picked up the first kill in that 1v2, I thought it was going to go his way.
Yeah, like you said, the flashes that came in didn't phase him at all. He was able to just kind of tuck into the corner and then get that first shot on the first guy out heaven. So you were right. I mean, it seemed like they were doing all the right things. I felt like they made a good mid-round read to kind of come back up to upper site. Again, I felt like you saw Raider doing a great job being a distraction outside and really tying up a lot of time from HellRaisers and a lot of their resources, but in the end, still, HellRaisers find a way to win, and now this round they open up strong with the big aggression from JM. Dursky is at least able to trade it back right away. This is a round where Deadrock is only on a Mac 10, so that could be a problem, but he just kind of gets given one for free there from Kalinka. Ramp's also taken in the meantime, and so a 3-on-2 here for M5 Academy with still a lot of time left on the clock to play with, and they basically have full control of the lower side already. So they will be able to get that bomb planted, no problem. It's all going to come down to whether these 2 remaining members of HellRaisers can actually retake or not. First kill the right direction. They know where both players are as well.
That smoke is going to play havoc, though, with any retake potential. Flashbang in. Flaric now making moves towards Decon. They need to work off each other, the remaining two CTs. Deadrock is very low. Tight left. JR now transitioning across to the AK-47. Just being careful that no one's hiding in that smoke. Big duel about to kick off, and it goes the way of the T's. And Dursky is there to lend Deadrock a helping hand. Now, if they'd saved those two weapons, they'd have a decent buy in the last half, but instead it's going to be down to the bare minimum.
Yeah, it just seemed like there was, I don't know if you'd call it a complete overextension, but it did seem like HellRaisers were trying to force the issue a little bit more with some of their aggression. And M5 Academy were just really well prepared for it. And then they exposed ramp, got the 3-on-2, and that was pretty much all she wrote at that point. And now, as you kind of already mentioned, there's not a whole lot for HellRaisers to work with in this final round, so a chance for M5 Academy to really get that 6th round. They certainly had the advantage to do so, and again, there's some aggression going on towards outside, and again, M5 Academy are more than prepared for it.
Yeah, this aggression doesn't look like it's really going to do a great deal, but if nothing else, it's at least going to slow down the initial pushes that M5 have been going for.
Sure.
And where most of their success on this half is really stave. So if M5 do push out later on, this is where positions like Jaleim, who has one of the M4s, can be very powerful. It's going to be a flash into a peak. They haven't quite pushed far enough yet, and Jaleim's given his position away. He spots Dursky up on the silo and still carves his head out, sees a second player in there, which is Luke, and Jaleim alongside JR have done so much work. The two M4s both singing, both rattling out with frags, and our Raider is stuck in the hut, pierced through from the CZ. Running headshot is good for the kill, and the MP9 plus AK now able to trade hands. Deadrock going to be going for that wide swing, does at least get one, takes a bit of damage, but now his position is known, gets a second somehow, some way. He's still standing, still alive to tell the tale. The bomb plant doesn't matter. It's the last round of the half. One bullet will finalize, and it's from Problem with the Deagle. 10-5 coming through into the second half will favor HellRaisers.
Yeah, so it just seemed like in that round, HellRaisers just kind of learned from the fact that they didn't need to force the issue and just kind of sat back and played the team play and kind of just let the game come to them a little bit more. And you can see they just finished so strong. They're only allowed 2 rounds in the last 9 that were played. Plus they had the 3-0 start, so... Big stuff there. Big lead. Chance to 2-0. Haven't seen one of those yet today, Vince. We can maybe cross that one off of our bingo list.
Well, HellRaisers will certainly be hoping so, because it was them that took part in that marathon earlier today.
Yeah.
So if they can get this done in a reasonable time frame, they'll certainly be happy with that. They still have a few rounds to pick up before that becomes a reality, and Luke getting the first kill and dropping the bomb down in an awkward position is definitely not going to help matters. Kalinka, though, does come back with one of his own, and now Lavel's about to be swept in from the backside of Squeaky. That is a rough kill, but Problem will be happy to see his kill come up on the kill feed and his name shine bright. And it's all a matter of putting the headshots downrange, and HellRaisers have done it in style. Lost the first player, the next 5 kills went their way.
Indeed. Also worth noting that we do still have one more best of 3, I believe, that will take place here. So do be on the lookout for that.
Another element to mention, Dust, we have highlighted this earlier, but this is an elimination match. So if M5 lose, they are done. They are out. It's as simple as that. Mark 10 spray. And the AK through the smoke. This is looking like it is getting a little bit out of control. This was a force. So M5 looking at a potential eco. And HellRaisers potentially into a 13-5 lead. Raider dinked round the corner, but still has enough firepower with that Deagle to silence JR in this round. But it does feel like a consolation kill, nothing more, Dust, really.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just to let you know, the next game that we would be covering here is another elimination match, which will be Simon versus Crazy. For those that were wondering what was going to be up next. As we did see Simon take a 0-2 loss to Gambit Youngsters earlier today. Crazy having a best of 3 against 4s that went the distance, but still wound up going 4s' way.
Yeah, crazy. Really surprising many people, myself included. So that should be an interesting game to watch. But we still have this match to finish off. There has been a dink onto JR plus a kill. So maybe we're not going to hit that 13-5 score after all. M5 have a few things to talk about in that regard. And the Molotov could be finalizing Deadlock, who's going to have to move out of there. Does survive on 13 HP. I was sure he was a goner from that Molotov.
Would have had me fooled as well. As we are seeing HellRaisers start to kind of reel it back in a little bit after what seemed to be maybe some turbulent waters that could pose a threat. Everything is starting to settle back down. As they are trying to get in this upper side. Lavel, though, able to sweep through with the USP through Hut, and so things are still a little scary, I would say, especially with that one from Lavel. That's the one that really gets you. Now the P250 comes in as well. It's all on Kalinka. He knows where both CTs are, but he's still in a very tough spot here in this 1 versus 2, especially now that guns can also be collected by M5 Academy members. He's even going to be able to shoot a Galil over to his teammate. This is grim.
Really grim. The only good news is that he's full HP, and both the oncoming assailants are without Kevlar. So if he tags, the aim punch is going to be there. Not expecting the flank from the side, and Lavel is going to get it done. Moscow 5, one of their worst buys, and HellRaisers have bit down on it hook, line, and sinker. I cannot believe they lost that round.
Yeah, this is the one you think you should be getting just to go ahead and put this game away and not have to worry about it becoming too stressful or going the distance or really just spending any extra time with it, especially elimination best of 3. You want to be able to get it over with, stay in the tournament, live to fight tomorrow. And so to cough one up like that certainly is going to hurt. Now, they do have the economy still to fully buy, and if they can just immediately win, then they would force M5 Academy to save. They're probably going to 14-6, and they're not still worried about that round anymore. But it has opened up that small crack for M5 Academy to work through.
Yeah, there is a slight gap opening up, but it's whether they can hit that landing and really make the most of it. There's a wound, there's a weakness, maybe a vulnerability, but HellRaisers can quickly patch over that if they can win this round and put them back down again. The timing could not have been worse for Lavel. That opens up downstairs control now. HellRaisers going to force some players to respect that push, and down comes Raider. It's only the one player going down there, though. Kalinka overextending. No one was close to helping him out.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do there on that solo mission, but it was wound up egg in the face. Upper take, though, is going to look fruitful, actually. They do find the kill on Hut. There's still one player they have to worry about, though. It's going to be Thirsky, but the way that things play out on that final exchange is that HellRaisers get the better end of the trades. It was kind of touch and go, if we're honest, Vince. Like, it seemed like it could go either way, the way that players were positioned, but HellRaisers do figure it out, and we're actually seeing M5 Academy force up everything that they can, which means it's going to be a couple of MP9s and a Deagle. Like, they are really going all in on this. This is a scary buy, because if it doesn't work, they're done for, I feel.
Yeah, I think they realize that this is the right moment to make their last stand, but Raider, just indecision. He had the position, he decided to run out. I don't know if he was anticipating an incendiary or something, but you've just given a free kill across in a force buy that you have to win. Lavel now, you can see the result it has. Kalinka with some spicy aim just clicking off the head of Luke. And that one kill just makes this whole outside control fall flat in its face.
Yep. And now you're basically in a situation where you have to force buy the rest of the game. And all those buys are going to look worse than this one. Because you don't want to give HellRaisers map point for free in the next round. Unless you really feel confident in playing for OT. Which, honestly, wouldn't be so bad money-wise. But, I mean, it's really grim to stare down having to win 9 rounds in a row to force OT. So, yeah, you're just going to have to keep force buying. And, I mean, that's just going to mean that you're going to have just nothing to work with, man. I mean, they have one M4. They have the Scout, and then they have an MP9s and a 5.7. This is the beginning of the end, you have to imagine, Vince.
You certainly think so, but cast your mind back a few rounds when they lost against basically P250s outside.
Yeah.
I would not write off Moscow 5 just here. It does look grim for sure, but HellRaisers learnt their lesson. Perhaps not. Luke with the free shot does take 26 damage actually. It's not entirely free, but doesn't cost him much. And can link it down to 30, so he has to be very respectful now of the ability of Moscow 5 to just deal with him and put him out of the round. Big entry, though, on ramp.
Yeah. I just think that M5 Academy should have probably... I would have said, like, maybe get upgraded pistols at most in the previous round. That way you could have a full buy here. I think that would have been a better decision, in my opinion. To each their own, though. I just think it creates a slippery slope of force buying when you try to go for it in the previous round. And now everything's going HellRaisers' way in this round. For the most part, there's been a couple of problem areas here and there, and Dursky creates another one, but the bomb does still get planted at lower. And Dursky's still, you know, pretty much well out of position of trying to retake here. I don't even know if there's a kit out there anywhere to help him. He may just have to save the M4, although at this point, you might as well go for it. You've basically gone all in anyway, so might as well. He's gotten one kill, but now only 19 HP and still no kit and no idea where the other T is, and so now he will back off. And it will be now map and series point for HellRaisers.
Yeah, Flark for a very intelligent position as well. He saw the kit down, and it stands to reason in the force buy there's not going to be more than the one kit, so he positioned on the kit, which he knew was a win parameter. That was one of the keys to victory for M5, and he just completely denied that. So plus the 19 HP as you highlight, like there's no way Dursky can win that. So now 9 match points, 9 elimination points for M5 Academy to battle back from.
Absolutely. This should be GG come up here soon. It's a better buy than the last round, at least for M5 Academy here, but it's still certainly far from optimal. But they must make it work, and they must again march 9 in a row to force the overtime. It's not a good start.
Not the ideal start at all. Luke has gone down with a whimper. Just the 9 kills to his name, 57 ADR. It's been a rough day at the office for M5, on the brink of elimination. Molotovs being tossed out. JR with another pick. This time Laval goes aggressively for in.
It's looking like the final nails are being put in the coffin, so to speak, but we are seeing Dursky and company shore up together through Squeaky to try to make one last-ditch effort, but it's been picked up upon, and everything else is going HellRaisers' way. But as I say that, we're now in a 2 versus 2, and Flarek has only 1 health vent. This could be a problem.
It could. One of the few saving graces, though, is that JR has the bomb. So it hasn't spilled out onto the A site, which would pretty much, I would say, be doomed for this round. Now, Dursky may get antsy, may go for the peak. The timing's on favor for JR. I thought he was going to get peaked a little bit more aggressively, and now things get into a very awkward position. Now, Dead Rocket range should get this kill. Low HP, the MP9 with his spray is actually very powerful. Cleaning players up. He's going to change positions. This is looking good now for Moscow 5 Academy. 18 seconds to go. Does JR vent dive and just get for the guaranteed plant on B? He does. He's got enough time to pull this one off. Now, Deadrock may run down. For all he knows, this is a fake. He needs to be careful at not overextending and playing this one smarter later on into the potential 1v1 clutch. He's moved into decon. He's jumped across to the other side and that's caught JR off guard. Very well played indeed. He knew that JR was locked down after planting the bomb for a few moments, and he made the most of that position. So M5 at least do navigate their way into one more round.
Yep, they hold on for one more ride at least, and they get to bring over an AWP, and Deadrock has plenty of money to drop as well, or buy himself and drop that AWP over to Luke is probably the more likely scenario, and indeed that is going to be the case. So yeah, I mean, they're on their way to essentially a pretty much full buy here. Probably nice to have after several rounds of struggling with MP9s and scouts and basically the kitchen sink. Now they actually have kind of more normal weapons to work with, which has to feel great. But again, they have to be perfect from this point forward to avoid elimination. And again, they've suffered the opening pick. They recovered from it last time. But how many licks can you take before you finally get knocked out?
Yeah, they've sustained enough KO blows to really weaken their jaw. But Luke Swung for the fences, and he has connected onto JR, who aggressively tried to make a move down C. They went for an aggressive two-man hit through lobby last round, so I assume that HellRaisers will have that in the back of their minds and be cognizant of that potential again. Spray through the vents is good onto Deadrock, and a missed shot, and then Luke jumps out of position. It was a very tenuous shot that he put out there, and now Raider 1v4 to try and save the day for Moscow 5 Academy. Molotov is too deep to bother him. He's pushing through Squeaky. The timing's off, and that's going to be HellRaisers sealing the deal 2-0. They pick up this best of 3, and they live to fight another day.
Indeed, they will be moving on to tomorrow to try to stay alive here in the WePlay Clutch Island, but we do have to bid a farewell to the Moscow 5 Academy. And we'll also have to bid adieu to ourselves for a little bit as we pass it over to our expert panel to break down that series before we reach our final best of 3 of the day. So take it away, gents.